make sure that we make your morning a better one. So just give us your morning. So while you're going about your daily activity, we are ready to keep you abreast, to bring you up to speed as regards what's going on in the country and even outside the country, flipping through the pages of our dailies to see what's going on right there, even from the weekend. A lot of things have been happening. And don't worry, we'll definitely bring almost all to your listening pleasure and remind us what have been happening even over the weekend, yesterday to today. Several developing news stories from the Super Eagles, taking the WAFCON title. Congratulations to the Super Falcons. Super Falcons, I beg your pardon. Did I say Super Eagles? No. Super Falcons, too. They have South Africa will be hosting them September 9, but let's just wait and see. But now we're celebrating our Super Falcons, taking the WAFCON trophy on Saturday. Kudos to them. And of course, the presidency had to welcome them. They were at the villa yesterday, presidential villa, and the presidency welcomed them with gifts, showering them with gifts and a whole lot. It's actually very wonderful to see, our women doing wonderfully well. Even an Afro basket, yes, the D Tigress, qualifying to the quarterfinals and all of that. It's really a good one. Women are doing great in the world of sport. Of course, several things happening. Aggrieved APC members of Lagos State, stage protests demanding the removal of chairman and all of that. Also, we had raising dust of the renaming of some streets in Lagos State to a particular name to another name and all of that. We had, several reactions to that. And also the NCDC, even from the health sector, had, rolled out updates giving us the number of deaths that we have over Lassa fever, giving us update that we have 152 that in the first 28 weeks of 2025. So you're welcome to Trend in the Papers on Mailer 98.3 FM, the sound of Lagos. This morning we'll be going through several stories and updates and trends in our papers. But quickly before we move on to what we have this morning, let me just quickly run down through what we had, in the front pages of our dailies yesterday, which we couldn't bring to your listening pleasure. The Guardian captured the refineries at Jᴏɪᴜ Steel Field revival effort despite 6.5 trillion naira spent in 10 years. That's from the Guardian. Also, we have with Nigeria annest or squander its youth dividends. Also from the Guardian, on International Day, Nigeria's hepatitis war falters amid low testing and high treatment costs and ignorance. NMA suspends planned strike, gives federal government fresh 21-day ultimatum from the health sector. Court nullifies NYC skirt ban, declares decision unconstitutional and breach of rights. Also reported 2026, Atiku vows to deliver Ekiti governorship to ADC. And also we had reported as flood ravages at Adamawa settlement. And also, ADC demands audit of Tinubu's 200 trillion naira debt trajectory, slams fiscal record. And also reported from the Guardian yesterday, seek permission to appoint 8 supervisors. Sanwo-Olu tells new local government chairman. And also reported on 2023 polls, court dismisses INEC's prayer against prosecuting electoral offenders. This is where the report in the Guardian newspaper, specifically the front page of the Guardian. Also, the Punch reported yesterday, fuel world brews as Dangote presses Tinubu to ban imports, with the writer saying Ipman and Petron push back, one against monopoly. Dangote insists on Nigeria's first policy. And also we had APC defense Yowatda amidst fierce opposition over INEC ties. We had that, the larger part of the Punch newspaper also captured that, and several media platform also captured that, has that as a bigger story. Even took a larger chunk on the front page of the dailies. And also reported yesterday, we had state on high alert as Adamawa flood death toll rises. A rather sad one of Guardian and the Punch yesterday. We also had from the power sector, electricity supply worsens despite high tariff. Adamawa flood, 5 die, over 50 injured in Adamawa flood. python, other animals found in ex-AGF's home, evacuated to Kano Zoo on World Hepatitis Day. Patients decry funding challenge job losses. Bandits killed many captives in Zamfara, says survivors. Tinubu hosts Super Falcons after trophy parade. On Niger boat mishap, 15 bodies recovered, 3 missing on constitutional review. The Northwest demands 8 additional states. All right. Back to what we have today, the front pages of our dailies this morning. You're welcome once again. Before then, let me quickly remind that you can join us on Facebook. Yes, unfortunately, you might not be able to stream live on Facebook, rather. Join us on YouTube. Yes, we're streaming live on YouTube at Mela 98.3 FM. You might not be able to. So for those that love to join on Facebook, I would like to seek your indulgence to direct that to the YouTube. So we'll be streaming live on YouTube at Mainland 98.3 FM. You can also leave it in. It's very much accessible for you to join the conversation. We will have Side Forward as always on the other side to also bring perspective and analyze the several issues and trends we have this morning. Hello, good morning, Side Forward.
Yeah, good morning, Lady Mo. How are you doing?
Doing very well. How are you doing? Hope you had a restful night.
Fantastic.
And
yeah, it was.
You know,
it was restful.
we had messages, you know, for the fact that we missed your voice yesterday, you know, but thank God we can hear your voice today. We
wanted to talk. The machines required that we attended to them, you know, and without the machines, we cannot, of course, reach out to anybody, even though we're always on ground and willing to do our job. But, you know, machines needed to be attended to. The wedding.
Right. We need to solve some things so that we don't have a bigger problem. Or basically, while we are trying to solve a problem, or while we are trying to be adamant, we don't create more problems. You just have to.
More problems.
Yeah. We
apologize to all our listeners who reached out. I got a lot of messages, calls. You know, again, those moments show you that the little things you think you're doing is big in the minds and hearts of a lot of Nigerians, and we appreciate them for trusting us with their choice as a radio station. So.
Right. You have a choice because you can't even cheat nature.
You know, I've seen people who go to hospital. I just want to do a routine check. You know, you go to the hospital. I just need a quick routine check, and they check your BP, check your sugar level, and the next thing they tell you, you're going to be admitted. If you say no, there's something big might just happen. So we apologize to all our listeners. It was just something that we needed to do so that we can all serve them better. We're back.
We're back and better, and definitely really want to, you know, appreciate your doggedness and your understanding, really. We do that just aside for what I said. And let me quickly reiterate, yes, we apologize again for the fact that we might not be able to stream via Facebook. So, but fortunately as well, we are streaming live on YouTube, so you can join us on YouTube for.
And the Radio Garden is up too.
And the Radio Garden, yes, very much up and accessible. Our website is also very much accessible. But for those that you want to see what's going on, I mean, you want to experience the live stream, you can do well to join us on YouTube at Mela 98.3 FM, and voila, you'll definitely get to see what to peruse what's happening in our dailies this morning. Let's start from, you know, a lot of things have been happening, you know, from the weekend. Let me start from our Falcons that we're celebrating as well, which they lifted our cup for us on Saturday, giving us the WAFCON title, the Super Falcons. And yesterday, the presidency, you know, welcomed them yesterday with a lot of gifts, you know, money, cash gifts, even lavishes them with splashes 4.92 billion naira cash gift houses on the Falcons. So let's start from there. Kudos to our Super Falcons and kudos to Nigeria. So following their triumph at the just concluded cash prize of 4.602 billion naira, as well as the national honor of officer of the Order of the Niger by President Bola Tinubu, that's OON. And the players and officials were also given the sum of 350 million naira by the Nigerian Governors Forum, taking their cash reward to 4.952 billion naira during their reception at the presidential villa yesterday. Of course, they won the WAFCON title for the record extending 10th time. on Saturday. Yeah, after coming back, from 2 goals down to beat host Morocco 3-2 in the final at the Rabat Olympic Stadium. I actually watched the match and it was suiting. I mean, from 2 down, we gave them, don't worry, we give you 2 up front. And then we're able to, well, some people said it's luck, but what is football? We also have luck in football, all of that. And even within 9 minutes, we had to give in the 3rd goal. Side forward, you see this as, worth even the gift from the presidency. I mean, the welcoming from the presidency and all of that. Do you have any comments?
The honor well deserved. The honor well deserved. And I've seen a lot of commentaries as to the fact that the Aston Villa, again, there's nothing too much really to celebrate people who have been able to put smiles on the face of many Nigerians who, again, at a time when we're talking about a very low level of our ranking at the global stage, you have this, luck. Well, luck in itself comes with your level of preparedness.
Right.
Like they said, when if you say you are lucky, it is when preparedness meets opportunity. So it means you have to be prepared for the even and next the opportunity that comes, and that's when you can be considered lucky. They work very hard through the group stages to the knockout stages, and then it's not always very easy to play a team with a home support, because you are playing the team, you are playing with the supporters too,
right,
at their home ground. So, and then the resilience to come back after 2 goals is something that we have to commend, that fighting spirit. Because I remember that when we were 2 goals down, the commentator had questioned the resilience and ability of these girls to fight back. That they are not so used to being that, they are not used to, that kind of margin. Being 2 goals down was going to be a challenge for them. I was also watching the match, and I'm like, I don't think our girls will be able to come back. But somehow we were able to pull it through. They kept fighting. They got more physical. I think we also have to commend the players at the second half, and I think that changed everything. But again, it was a collective thing. I think we just have to give it to the girls for doing this. And it was Mission X, almost impossible, but they made it possible. So, because again, the question was, are they going to be able to achieve Mission X, our own La Decima? Because again, we've dominated female football in Africa, and what they did this time was to just solidify their dominance. To say, look, it's our own thing, and we are here for a long time. You're not going to take that away from us. So it's just a big congratulations to the girls. Whatever was given to them is a honor well deserved. I don't think there's anything too much really to give to the girls. 3-bedroom. Do I call it a flat or apartment? I don't know what kind of building. Whether it's a
3-bedroom.
I don't know whether it's going to be a bungalow, an apartment, or a flat.
Well,
whatever
you want
it
to
is.
go and visit them.
No. But a 3-bedroom apartment has been given to each of them, and the technical crew, fantastic one, $100,000 each for each of the girls, and $50,000 for the technical crew, which is also very good. I think the Governors Forum, led and represented by the governor of Kwara State, was to also give 10 million naira each to the girls and the technical crew. And then the national honor, I think OON, right, was also conferred on all the girls and the technical crew. So congratulations to them. Again, we're just hoping that, look, when we have moments like this, to help to further unify the country. And when I say unify the country, because at that point when we were watching the match, there was no Igbo, there was no Yoruba, there was no Hausa, there was no Fulani.
Unism.
We're all Nigerians rooting for their country to win the match. And the celebration too did not have ethnic coloration. We're just one Nigeria celebrating our victory. So we again to appeal to our politicians. We can play politics with everything, but please stop dividing us. Religion, ethnicity, and all of those kinds of weapons that are used to continue to divide us while they actually have their own plans and interests. So again, congratulations to girls, congratulations to Nigerians, congratulations to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the First Lady, for honoring this girl after what they've done, really, to make us proud. So congratulations to everybody, and I also congratulate myself and a proud Nigeria.
Congratulations to you. Anyways, in the mood of congratulations, actually, in the world of sports, women are doing us good. Even the Nigerians,
the men too are trying.
Yes,
we just need a little more push.
Of course. The Tղᴇ also had qualified to the quarterfinal in the 2025 FIBA Women's AfroBasket in Abidjan. So I'm definitely sure they have been doing awesomely well too.
In Africa, the Tigers have been doing wonderfully well.
Yes, wonderfully.
Dominating female basketball in Africa too. So.
Yeah.
We were rooting for them, and we're hoping that they can also take this one.
All right. That very story on page 26 in the Punch newspaper this morning, precisely in case you want to get more update. 46, I beg your pardon, in the Punch newspaper. Away from that, quickly, let's move to the power sector. An update here from the Punch is saying that the Electricity Act, that's the amendment bill, federal government may sell 11 discos to new investors. We're getting report that the federal government may sell the 11 power and distribution companies through a reprivatization process if the Electricity Act Amendment Bill 2025 currently before the National Assembly becomes a law. And the National Assembly has already initiated a legislative process to enforce the sweeping reforms that could see core investors in electricity distribution companies lose their stakes if they fail to improve their investment. And so the bill, by addressing regulatory gaps, and it's also one that investors risk losing their stakes through share dilution, receivership, or outright reprivatization if fresh capital is not injected into the sector within 12 months following years of poor performance and a worsening debt crisis. And so this clause is coming into effect immediately after the assent is granted to the ongoing amendments of the Electricity Act 2023. That's the bill. The bill has passed its second reading and is currently undergoing, further legislation to compel core investors in the 11 successor discos to inject fresh capital or face stiff regulatory action, including, the share dilution, the receivership, or outright reprivatization. Side forward, what outcome could this bring, and what are the effects of this poll or proposal?
Well, too early to say. Because again, this amendment is an amendment to the Electricity Act of 2023. And I think that despite that act, we're still seeing that there's a lot of loopholes. There's still a lot of loose ends here and there that we need to tighten up as far as the electricity power sector is concerned. See, the fact is that you can't build something on nothing. And when you start on it, when you start, it's at a very faulty level. This is what you get. In 2013, the privatization that was done was taken over by sharks, was taken over by greedy Nigerians who had no business at all in that sector. And that was the consequence. The failure we see today is a consequence of people just getting too greedy by grabbing what they really don't have an idea of. If you ask me, because again, you see, this idea of thinking that these discos, we had a 10-year period for them to operate the distribution level of the value chain. It was again from 2013 to 2023, their licenses are the last. Up till now, NEC has not given us any justifiable reason for extending that license for another 5 years. Because again, it was 2013, it allows in 2023, and they were given another 5 years to continue their inefficiency. I really don't know, because again, it would have been nice if we have the complete details of this bill that is now sponsored, that has, I think, passed through the second reading. Because again, so that we know which part of the entire Act of 2023 that they are seeking an amendment to. But what I know is that
yes, according to the section 228J and 228K of the amended Act, the Minister of Power said in consultation with NERC is required to develop and implement a robust financing framework aimed at de-risking investments across the power value chain and resolving the sector's chronic debt overhang, estimated at over 4 trillion naira.
Okay.
He said under the new law that a comprehensive framework must be developed within 12 months to overhaul the financial structure of the Nigerian electricity supply industry, NESI, with a strong focus on attracting long-term local currency investments and phasing out what the bill described as unstructured and regressive subsidies.
You see, the problem with our power minister is that his mind is so structured. He has a very monolithic way of thinking. And I'm talking about Minister Adelabu now. To him, Nigerians need to pay more. He thinks that paying more solves the problem automatically. We are not just paying more. To him, Nigerians need to pay reflective tariff. What about service reflective tariff? Can you build something on nothing? Look, even if we double the tariff today, what about the inefficiencies of these discos? We are talking about people who have no capacity to do their job. You are saying that we need to pay more to them. The fact is that these guys can never deliver. Any idea to think that these guys will be able to invest more in the sector, we are only wasting our time. You run something for 10 years. Until today, you know, and these are the questions we've always been asking about the disco. When they took over that sector, that part of the value chain, what exactly did they bring into the sector? What did they invest? Because they came in, it was a privatization. You took the decision part of the value chain. Each of those discos, when they were coming, those so-called investors, those so-called greedy, failed, inefficient investors, what did they bring as their own investment into the sector? Because as we speak, they are still the ones buying cables. Even the tool of distribution like prepaid meter, you cannot give to people. The fact is this: if there's an efficient distribution of power, there's more. Don't you think that these discos will make the money they are looking for? Instead of creating a section of people to be on band A and overburdening them with tariff and leaving others out. Look, Nigerians are ready to pay for this service if the service is delivered efficiently.
A unified transmission and distribution.
You see, they are not thinking about a service reflective tariff, efficient service delivery. The other, maybe because he worked in the banking sector, it's all about money for him. I'm talking about the minister now. All the things is that, look, the people are not paying. People are not paying. They need to pay more. People need to pay more for what service exactly? What is the service you are rendering that people need to pay more for? Up to them. Because again, before you can begin to say people should pay more for a service, is the service even readily available? Do you have what it takes to deliver the service when people start to pay more? Are you not supposed to invest in the sector to the point where the service is readily available for the people, and then you cannot begin to tell people to pay more? Pay more for darkness? Is that what we are saying here?
Well,
look, the fact is that this discourse can never perform. It's all about do something or nothing. We started it on a very faulty level. It was all about corruption. It was about greed, vested interest, cash of interest. And that is why they can never deliver on the job. Look, to say the least, they are completely useless. In the entire value chain, this is the most useless part. As bad as recently we had a little problem on our street there, the part that, you know, for like almost a week, they could not even fix a very small fault of broken electricity pole. Just to replace electricity pole, it took them almost a week, and we are bad A customers. And they still build us as bad A. And for like 1 week, we were running on generator.
Even the Guardian newspaper is given another angle to the statement credited to the power minister, saying that the sector is facing an existential threat from 4 trillion naira debt owed to the Gencos. That's, of course, the debt we've been talking about. And according to him, that he's saying that it's a burden accumulated since 2015 that continues to undermine operational stability and investor confidence. During his meeting between the president and the Association of Power Generation Companies, that's the APGC, at the presidential villa, he said that without urgent liquidity support, that the sector is going to be faced with the real risk of generation shutdowns, which would cripple the economy and undo the hard-earned gains. And he appealed for partial debt defrayment to sustain operations while audit processes conclude, and also emphasizing that the Tinubu administration's reforms had already laid the groundwork for a self-sufficient power market. And he also emphasized the need to address gas supply shortfalls, particularly in the AFAM axis, where unpaid gas suppliers at constraint generation. So he described the liquidity as the oxygen of the sector and proposed immediate solutions like unlocking 800 million cubic feet of gas through NLN.
We are always on reform. We are reforming. We are reforming. And we have gotten to the point where this talk around reforms makes it look as if it's rocket science, really, to guarantee steady, cost-efficient, cost-effective, service-reflective, electricity supply to Nigerians across board. Because when you hear all the grammar you've read out now from the minister, you get even more confused as to what are we saying here. And even this so-called legacy debt now, I like the fact that President Bola Ahmed, I'll tell you why.
Right.
This debt, according to the minister, is from right from 2015, Abi?
Right, yes, from 2015.
And this is the calculation, and I want Nigerians to pay attention. From 2015 to, I think, 2024, we accumulated about 2 trillion naira debt, about 2.2 or 2.1 trillion naira debt. That's the fourth legacy debt. Between 2024 and 2025, we accumulated another 2 trillion to make it 4 trillion. Lady Mo. In the first quarter of 2025, please, let's pay attention, so that, because we are modeling everything up. From 2015 to around 2023 ending, it was about 2.2 trillion. Then in 2024 alone, we added another 2 trillion to it. Abi? Then how did we, just in the first quarter of 2025, accumulate another 1.2 trillion? Despite the fact that it was a period up without acquired more debt. How? When we keep saying that, look, policies of government that are intended to solve one problem, but are not thought out properly, that have now led to 1,000 other problems. This is exactly what we are talking about. Do you know why we have that situation? Because in the entire value chain of the power sector, there's the dollar factor, the foreign exchange factor. Or you don't understand what I'm saying? 2015, 2023, you acquired with your 2 trillion. Then in 2024, when you said you did all your reform, and then you came up with also a tariff that has made people now to sweat to pay for power. You put another 2 trillion. And then in 2025 alone, in just one quarter, another 1.2 trillion sort of payment. Why are we? Because although I agree that we need to check, who are the people counting the cost? Who are the people doing this calculation? What exactly are we paying for that makes us get to the point where we are owing in trillions in the power sector? That was the same problem with the petrol subsidy. I hope that people are not somewhere just manipulating this figure. Their gas suppliers are on their neck, they need to pay. We don't even know where we are with our transmission end. That one is in total crisis as we speak. And then on the last lap of the entire value chain, the discos are completely useless. I repeat it again, they are completely useless. That's why everyone is asking, what have they invested in the sector? These useless discos. What exactly have they invested in the sector?
How will this?
They cannot give you transformers. Look, there's even a community that called me recently that they bought their own transformers. And because they did not work with some insolence and uselessness can be more than that. Look, what we are saying is that, look, the more people have access to power supply, the more money they are supposed to make. Don't you look? And that's why I always say, compare these power sector guys to the guys in the telecom sector. The guys in the telecom sector came into the country, inherited nothing practically, created their own market, brought in their own investment, them to install their masts. Are we bothered about how they install their masts and all their equipment? But only in the power sector, we are the ones that will now buy transformer that they will now inherit. How does it even sound? Our transformer, then it belongs to them. Because if you buy transformer in your community, you are not the owner. They own it. So we are buying equipment for them. We are buying facilities for them to run their own services that they will still bill us on heavily without even delivering on the service.
Side forward. Even at the going on state versus the discos and jescos about the reduction in tariff and all of that. And the Punch is reporting that the new electricity law unleashes widespread crisis. Page 7 captures that in the Punch. Does it have any effect even if this proposal passes through?
Well, see, the sector is in a serious crisis. We shouldn't deceive ourselves.
Well,
and I'm hoping that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu will pay serious attention. If he needs to get Minister Adelabu out and get somebody who has a deeper understanding of the sector, I think he needs to begin to consider it. Enough of political patronage. It's appearing that Minister Adelabu is overwhelmed. He's confused about what he should do with the power sector because what issues, there are investment issues, overlapping functions here and there. The Electricity Act in itself seems to be creating more problems than solving because, again, you have the states who are making attempts at domesticating the power sectors in their different states. NEC will say one thing, the states are saying something else, MBEC is saying another thing. It's complete confusion to the point that as analysts, you have to be careful. Even when you speak with experts, they tell you that, look, we've never been this confused about what to do with the power sector. But the government has to find a way to fix the problem.
Well, speaking about solving the problem, I just believe that there should be power experts, electricity, especially, power financial experts working in the ministry.
Well, and they have just been there,
Page 37 captures that very story on the Electricity Act bill from the Punch newspaper. We also have the power story on the front page of the Punch. Page 7 captures the electricity that the state versus threatens power sector stability. Page 4, to be precise.
It's not 5.2.
It's not 5.2. 5.2 with the 1.2.
It used to be, I think,
with increments and
there's not legacy debt.
All is well.
That's why we are now paying more. The legacy debt is increasing. The real debt too keeps ballooning through the roof. God save us.
God really save us. Away from the power sector, the political word or space, the Punch is captured a proposal to amend the 1999 constitution to allow all elections in Nigeria to be conducted on the same day in 2027. So while leading opposition parties, the PDP, the Democratic Party, the Labour Party, the ADC, and the NMPP have thrown their weights behind the move. The on constitutional review, chaired by Deputy Speaker Benjamin Kalu, is being considered as part of broader constitutional amendment following the zonal consultations across the 6 geopolitical zones. And if passed, the amendment would mandate the INEC, that Independent and National Electoral Commission, to conduct presidential, governorship, National Assembly, and even state assembly polls in a single day. Move National Publicity Secretary of the NMPP, Ladipo Johnson, argued the same day polls would be both cost effective and efficient. Though this is not the first call, actually. We've been having this conversation over the years. However, I think this is also part of the recommendation from the electoral reform.
Committee.
Yes, ways passing through, and also a welcome development.
Now, interesting story, Lady Mo, very interesting, because again, if you look at it from the perspective and the opinion of the different political parties, you understand what I'm saying is very interesting. Now, you have major opposition political parties. Why are we having staggered elections? That presidential, governorship, National Assembly, State Assembly elections should be conducted in one day. They think it's even cost efficient. You understand? That's why are we staggering these elections? Again, if you ask me, the ballot paper for the presidential election. You have a ballot paper for governorship, Abi. You have a ballot paper for Senate, a ballot paper for House of Reps, and then a ballot paper for what?
Saifa, what happens to the completion of tenures that would be short before the 2027 election that have not completed?
Those ones will be conducted all cycle. Why not? Those ones will remain all cycle.
Okay.
But for the ones that we need to conduct during the general election, the all cycle elections are just a few states. And so they are not affected. But we are talking about the ones that we need to do at the general level. Instead of having the president, and they are talking about it being cost effective. That is their own reason.
Of course.
Now, a lot of the opposition. Yes.
Go ahead. Of course, spreading the expenses in a day and spreading it across several days. There are differences.
You have to repeat it again.
Right.
Because you have to mobilize for materials, distribute materials again, and all of those kinds of things. Economically, to complete shutdown across the nation. So a lot of, if you read the story very well, a lot of the opposition political parties that were interviewed said, oh, the brilliant idea. And like you also rightly pointed out, it was one of the recommendations. And that is what technology can also help us to do. There, for example, what are the things that cause delay during election? Accreditation issues, having our polling units well spelled out. People already know where their polling unit is so that they are not spending too much time. You understand? Probably get some accreditation machines that are faster to handle. Get people well trained, get logistics right, distribute materials effectively, look at our local peculiarities and what have you. But interestingly now, Lady Mo, the APC now says no. They are not happy. The ruling party says no. It's going to cause a lot of logistics issues. And I wonder, why is the APC not happy with us conducting the elections in one day? Again, I'll tell you, politically now, you see, there's always this thing about having the presidential election first and then having the governorship election and state elections 2 weeks after. Just imagine what happened in the last election in 2023. Imagine if we had conducted the presidential election and the governorship election on the same day. You know that, for example, Lagos would have gone to the opposition. Going by the fact that Labour Party won the presidential election in Lagos. And you saw that they had to go and rework their strategy. In Lagos, for example, it was now to intimidate a sizable number of voters to come and vote. We covered the elections. You cannot vote in this Lagos. So, all of this nonsense talk about me. You cannot even be more than Lagos than me. You cannot be a Lagosian than me. Talking.
Well, Lagosian.
It is a fact, yes. For anybody who comes out and brings all this idea of our Lagos, it's our Lagos. See, what will make Lagos the envy of every other state is for it to be functional. It's for us to improve the living standards of the people, the infrastructure. Who is contesting to the traditional ownership of Lagos with us? There's anybody contesting that. And meanwhile, those that are now shouting Lagos for Lagos and are talking about indigenship and all this cyber sentiment, in reality, Lagos, Lady Mo, all the 3 senators were from Ogun State. If we type here, all the 3 senators, in this case, to talk about it.
Right,
to the extent that we are now disturbing some people.
Anyways,
hypocrisy and deceit and lies. So again, I will not want to go into, because that one is another conversation that we will have time to read. And we are saying that, look, again on this particular story, whether to have the elections in one day or not, Lady Mo, this piecemeal idea to reforming the electoral process is not going to help us. Coordinated a well-rounded approach to reforming the electoral process.
Well said, Fouad.
It has to be holistic.
Right.
Let us adopt the Ways reports, committee report. The document is there. Let us adopt it as a whole. Instead of wasting time on this piecemeal approach.
Not in isolation. Anyway, that's also in the Punch. Quickly, we have a report here saying sad reports, an Ondo girl nabbed for stabbing boyfriend to death. The Ondo State Police Command yesterday said that it had arrested one Augustina for killing her boyfriend, suspected infidelity on Sunday at Okitipupa, the headquarters of the Okitipupa local government area of the state. And so the PPRA said that, according to him, that it was an argument between the two and all of that.
Love is not by force.
With taking that story with it, Saifad, we also have another story from the Punch. Kidnappers, threatening to kill 6 abducted law students over unpaid ransom. The abductors of 6 Nigerian law school students have reportedly, threatened to execute the victims if the ransom demanded is not paid. They said they were reportedly en route to resume academic activities following their court's externship break, with lectures scheduled to recommence yesterday. That's July 28, and they were abducted. And according to the kidnappers, they're saying that, well, if a source privy to a phone conversation between the kidnappers and one of the students told the correspondent, saying that they said they would kill them if they
to please rescue these students. And when we talk about the level of insecurity in the country, these are clear examples of the fact that things are not getting better. We cannot continue to be delusional and deceive ourselves.
We get reports on a daily basis. It's on a daily basis.
This is from Monisha going to Abuja. I think I go from Monisha to Adama, Yola. I think Yola. And then they were passing through Benue, hoping to go through Taraba City to 50 million naira. And they are now threatening to kill these guys if the monies don't come. So all this talk about, we have the security has improved, people have security advisor when he was saying that thing. And they believed him. See where they are now. You heard him now when he was talking about Tinubu Gate. People cannot travel.
Right.
They can go anywhere they like in the country. Now, these students are listening to him. And then now see where they are now. They are just at the verge of being killed. Because again, when it comes to adoptions,
quite a handful of them. It's quite unfortunate. Aside for just quickly, the health sector from The Guardian is giving us that Kano declares hepatitis a major health burden amid 1.2 million infections. According to the Kano state government, the declared hepatitis B virus, HBV, a major but preventable public health burden with over 1.2 million residents currently living with the life-threatening disease. That's according to the Commissioner for Health, Dr. Abubakar Labaran Yusuf. He made a disclosure and he described the rising number of the infections in the state as alarming, warning that without timely diagnoses and treatments that the HBV. Away from that, the Guardian newspaper also captured just quickly. The Vanguard just quickly about the U.S. report will ban Nigerians traveling for birth tourism. The U.S. has vowed to withhold visa approval from Nigerians whose sole intent of traveling to the U.S. is for the primary purpose of birth tourism. For those, I got pregnant in Nigeria, and then I make sure that I give birth.
I don't know why the U.S. will not allow us. Is their visa easy to even get?
In the first place, let alone.
Visa not as easy as this. Because the way they come with this information, you think that you just go to the embassy and they want the visa to you.
We will deny your visa.
To get the visa is his problem.
We will deny your visa.
What they're now saying is,
if your primary purpose is to come and give birth here. To get
how they will know?
How they let's see.
Maybe they'll be doing pregnancy test now when you come to the embassy.
At the embassy, you never can tell.
Because because again, Donald Trump is so serious on the fact that he might be working to repeal this part of American law that grants automatic citizenship to anybody born in the United States. There's a lot of talk about why that law came up in the first place and the fact that people are maybe just taking advantage of it. He's so tough on immigration and he has a different idea of who should be an American and how you can be an American. But I'm just saying that, look, I don't know why the embassy would not allow us rest. Your visa is not easy to get in the first place, and I don't think anybody will come and tell you that they are going there to go and give birth. Maybe they will start to conduct pregnancy tests.
Anyways, Eva is coming to the ADC. He was saying this, that the emerging opposition coalition led by the ADC is not centered on individual political gladiators like himself, Peter Obi, Rotimi Amechi, or Nasir El-Rufai, but on rescuing Nigeria's democracy from people have been under, you've been under power for many years, and they are coming. What's your proof? What's your proof that you are going to be making, that you are coming out here? You are coming together.
There's even no proof.
Anyways,
there's nothing to prove. Just a second.
Okay.
Now, when we will know whether it's about personal interest or Nigeria, when that ADC, this coalition party, when they get to the point when they need to choose a presidential candidate, we'll know whether it's about Nigeria or about their personal interest. We'll keep it that till when that moment comes, and they need to take a decision for who becomes their. What was the SDP? The SDP before. If El-Rufai did not join them, who was talking about the SDP as a party? What is their level of relevance? How relevant is even that party in Nigeria? That SDP that is banning somebody for 30 years. The only reason why we're even talking about them is because people like El-Rufai thought that they were going to use it as a platform. They are banning somebody for 30 years.
The headline on the front page before we go. Federal government launches crackdown on MDAs after 300% and 11 cases. Page 24 captures. GS, can we have that 2 minutes before we pick the topic?
Yes, I will join you. I need to discuss that.
Yes, because we had staged protest in Lagos State of removal of APC chairman. Yeah, shout out to Akinyode.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday. We'll celebrate you. We have to go for commercials.
They call him the star boy.
The star boy, the comrade.
Star boy must show doing so. He must show doing today.
Right.